The upcoming fourth entry into BioWare's Dragon Age series was reportedly rebooted in 2017 and is allegedly influenced by a cancelled Dragon Age project the studio had been working on since 2015. Kotaku reports that the current version of Dragon Age 4 began development under the codename Morrison, while the cancelled project was known by the codename Joplin. Morrison is reportedly being made on Anthem's tools and codebase and is planned to have a live service component. Some BioWare developers allegedly said it's possible a Dragon Age game built on Anthem's codebase could have an offline structure. However, it appears the game will likely be an online only, but could largely still be experienced by a single player. What are our thoughts on this? I mean,
Well, I just that, yeah, I would. I know you sigh there a little bit, Luke, but I would just say that part where they say about online only, I don't think that means it's going to be some sort of like online only Dragon Age. I think what it means is that you'll have to be online to play it. It'll be a single player game. I'm pretty confident about that. You know, we've seen this in the past with games where on the box it says requires internet, but then there's actually just a single player game in there. You know, it's just that you have to be connected to their servers basically to play the game, which isn't going to be a problem for most people nowadays. You know, I think 98-99% of everyone plays their games online, don't they? On Xbox Live, PSN,
or at least connected
PC.
to
yeah, connected to something. So I think that's one worry I wouldn't be worried about that because I'm pretty confident about that. Now the game probably will have some sort of. I wouldn't be surprised if they shoehorn in some sort of multiplayer component because they did it with Inquisition. I don't think I had much success, but we'll see how that goes.
Did you guys play that? I didn't.
I didn't. No, I didn't have any interest in playing the online.
I tried. It didn't really let me do it when the game first launched, but I didn't even try after that because Dragon Age is a single player game and always will be for me.
Yeah,
I think it's important to say that Casey Hudson did actually tweet about this, saying that the live thing, in inverted commas, is basically just designing a game for continued storytelling after the main story. So I guess that's the live team that work on DLCs and stuff going forward.
I think it'll be... Can I just interject there? But I think it'll be similar to how Assassin's Creed... I don't know if you don't know much, you don't play the game, but the way Assassin's Creed Odyssey does it, now that's technically a live service game, but that is only a single player game. But what they do is they can like add missions in when they want.
Yeah.
Like into the world, you know, not as DLC packs. It's more like, oh, we've added this new mission that you can try. Or I think that's probably the way they're going to go with it.
I think that's probably a good idea. I'm also of the opinion that Casey Hudson's not being particularly honest about it just means continued storytelling. I wouldn't be shocked to see some kind of in-game monetization with regards customization or something like that, depending on what lines they want to go down. I don't think they'll blur them too much, though, because of the backlash we've seen left, right, and centre with games.
I was just going to say the last thing that BioWare need as well is more.
Right.
Yeah, that's
backlash.
So I think
really
it will have something like that. I just don't think it's going to be very prominent, and it may well go very well under the radar until the game's in sort of full flow in terms of the hype and everything that it will get when it's coming out. So I'm happy that they're talking about live storytelling. I just don't think it stops there.
No. I think as well, just going back to obviously the original point of the article about, you know, that they're using some of the things from the original project. This kind of ties back to what we were talking about last week, doesn't it? With the Anthem stuff, with the development, because, you know, as we know, it seems as if there was a lot of developers working on Dragon Age, which we assume was this cancelled project.
Well, we know that now.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, we do.
And they shifted over to Anthem, so that could be a good thing because a lot of people in the interview say, don't they, that Dragon Age was onto something really good with the original concept. So hopefully that means that they can sort of regain that for this new project, you know, which is obviously what we want, really, isn't it? That's the best outcome.
Yeah. So when I first read the article, I jumped to conclusions a little bit, and I thought that they're revisiting Joplin, which was referenced last week in the Kotaku article that was shut down in favor of focusing on Anthem. And when you read that, you think, what? So they're revisiting a project that was canned initially, and it has negative connotations, but it wasn't canned because it was necessarily bad.
No.
It was just canned because Anthem was so much sort of suffering in its development. So if they had a good concept and if they had really good ideas, why not reignite it and go back to the forge with that? And not to, you know, pun too much on Anthem, but
will they be given the chance to reignite it though?
Probably. I think I made the prediction last week that we would see Dragon Age 4, and regardless of whether that's EA sort of overseeing it or coming to the fore with the publishing rights, then I'm not sure. But I do think Dragon Age 4 will see the light of day in whichever way it does get there.
I hope so. It's a great series.
It is. And I think as well, just on a broader point with Dragon Age 4, I think it's just good to see articles about the game actually existing, because the more time goes on and the more you don't hear about a certain game, the more it makes you worried. And I think the good sign for me is that Dragon Age is being talked about quite a lot now. Now that Anthem's out of the way, now it's been launched, we're getting more and more articles on Dragon Age, which I think is a good sign that maybe things are on track and the game will come out. And I also think that maybe, with the whole Anthem thing where, Dragon Age people had to go across to Anthem, maybe this was the plan all along, that they would eventually go back to Dragon Age. Maybe it was sort of I don't know what you want to call it, I was trying to think we could say, like they sort of loaned them to go to Anthem, and now they're sort of going back, if that makes sense.
To be honest, yeah, this does seem the case, because they're passing on Anthem to EA in, where is it again?
Oh, which EA was it?
BioWare, sorry. In, not, oh
Austin?
My God. Austin, that's it.
Austin,
BioWare in Austin, and Edmonton is actually focusing on Dragon Age 4.
Yeah, because Edmonton's sort of the main, the top dog according to that article.
Yeah,
the A team.
The arrogant team, maybe. But,
that seems to suit from the article last week.
Hey, I don't mind if they make a great Dragon Age game. They can be as arrogant as they want. So as far as I'm concerned. But like you said, that does seem to be maybe the plan now, which I think makes sense, doesn't it? I think that makes complete sense, really, because hopefully it'll make Anthem a better game, from that point of view, because it's the team that maybe, knew more about the online stuff, the Old Republic, and Edmonton can focus on what they do best, and that's making great single-player games.
Yeah, Anthem may well become a better game, but no one's going to see it because it's a long time dead.
Problem. Yeah.
I think for focusing on Dragon Age, which is way more important right now, is that it's being built on the same code base and tools that was basically built from the ground up for Anthem. So they haven't got to start from scratch again with this, and they don't have to worry about all the unexpected problems that they ran into with Anthem's development, because they're already aware of that. And they understand now, or at least I hope they do, the limitations and the restrictions that they have with that software. So theoretically, they've already made those mistakes in one development. They've learned from them. And so Dragon Age 4 should be a lot smoother going on that basis.
I was going to say,
but they were meant to have learned from that with Dragon Age Inquisition.
True.
And then when they went into Anthem, they had similar development issues.
Yeah, but I do think this time it's a bit different. I think because, like you said, they've got the complete structure there with Anthem, and they've said basically they're going off, the structure of it. So I think that means, along with what Perks has said, that we should be expecting this game won't, it's not going to be 6-7 years out. I'd have thought maybe 2 years, maybe 2.5 years out, something like that. Maybe end of 2021.
My biggest worry, though, would be the lack of direction. I mean, they had a lack of direction for Anthem, which was basically the major problem, wasn't it, with that?
Well, Casey Hudson's back at the helm now.
Well,
that's one.
At least for now.
Yeah, because he left during Anthem.
Yeah. If he stays all the way, I'd be pretty confident the game's going to be good. If there's more problems where he ends up leaving, then that's when you start worrying. But I would say it's a good sign that he's there.
I want them to prove me wrong, but I've just started having doubts now with BioWare since Anthem.
I mean, let's be honest. I think we all said it last week. This game is everything now. If they don't get, I know we said Anthem might, but I think this is their real last chance now. This is it. If this Dragon Age is poor, or like Andromeda, then they could be done. That could be it.
It does feel like a boxer on the ropes, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah, it's like, it's like, but a championship boxer, and he's kind of getting a bit weaker, but he's got one more fight in him. Can he, win the last fight and stuff? That's what it feels like, doesn't it, with BioWare at the minute? Like they're really sort of on the ropes. So it's either you win or you retire, sort of thing, and it feels like that with BioWare.